Mel. Hey, everyone. Hopefully you can see this. West Coast Wednesdays, Wednesday vibes. It's all about the West Side. You see my Raiders here, Mel? See my Raiders pillow here? Isn't this dope? Shout out to them Raiders. My little plushy pillow. Shout out to those Raiders winning Monday Night Football. Shout out to my team. What's that?
It tight. Oh, but you were at work, huh?
Yeah, I was at work, but shout out to my job because it's our inventory. But we were able to shout out to Josephine. She's the best. Able to watch it if we had it streamed, on our phones and that. So I was able to catch some of the game, the important parts of it. But we'll get into it.
For sure.
For sure. Yes. Happy Wednesday to everybody that's out there. Another great episode of Girl Chat Sports. We've got a great guest that's about to join us, which I am super. You guys are possibly watching Game 4 of the Miami and Boston series.
Yes.
Miami is up 2-1, and I think they were leading the last time I checked. So they're balling. Those Heatles are the truth. What's up, Lisa? The Heatles are the real deal. Boston's the real deal, too. It's going to be a very interesting series. I think our series is going to be very interesting now because it's now turned into a series. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about our week 2 predictions. Did I predict right or did Mel predict right? So you'll find that out. And then also we will talk about our week 3 choices.
We'll go over week 3 too.
Yeah, and talk about tomorrow night's football game. I'm very torn between Jaguars or Dolphins on my pick. I don't know which one to pick yet.
Well, there's a whole beard versus stash controversy, right?
Right, I do. And even on that, like if you're going to be team beard or team mustache, you got to look at too. We've been talking about this, the injuries that's going on throughout the league. A punctured lung mishap we'll talk about. That's kind of crazy. And I guess it's very insane, right? Oh my God. And then we'll talk about how my Dodgers, my boys in blue, 8th straight year in a row, clinching that NL West. It's all about that West.
They were doing it.
He said it best. He said it's about the West. All about the West. So yeah, I'm just pretty excited about this week coming up because, from the Raiders game that they had on Monday, we follow up on an away game on Sunday in New England. We're going to Foxborough.
Yeah.
Up against the Cam. Maybe you can give me some insight on that because that was a good game you guys had against them.
Just hold the end zone down. Just count a little bit.
Sure, jeez. Good luck then.
It's too much. Listen, that was a whole other game.
It sure was. And it was a very close.
Shout out to both of our teams because we're both 2-0 this week.
Right.
So we'll see about this. I know we've got, why am I blanking right now? We've got Dallas coming. I've got a bet with KT at Sports Life Talk, just FYI.
Oh, you got a bet with him?
Yeah. I mean, hey, why not? I'm true to my boys. So I'm planning on them having another great showdown at the CenturyLink.
How much
it's just it's a small nominal fee. Nothing that's going to buy us new Jordans or nothing, but it'll be enough to, grab dinner or whatnot. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dinner for 1 or dinner for 2?
It depends on where you eat dinner.
Sounds like it's going to be a McDonald's meal.
I mean, if you want to have Chick-fil-A, you probably can eat for 2. If you're going to Boiling Crab, you probably can't even eat for 1. So.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Maybe it was the Boiling Crab.
I could probably get one. I'll get 1 cluster of boiling if I want.
Yeah, that sounds like a very small wager, but it's gonna be an interesting wager. So yeah,
it will be.
That'll be. Dope.
Well, yeah. So let's get Jay on the line. Let's get Jay on here. 1 second. Hey!
Oh, there he is.
Hey, girls.
Raider Nation, stand up for the one and only former quarterback for the Los Angeles Raiders at the time, Jay Schroeder, who has lived out here in Vegas for quite some time now. Like you just kind of got acclimated, moved here not too long ago, right? Like you
moved down here in February. I was just
I
was just up in St. George, so I moved down here full time. I finally decided to pack my dog up, and we made the move down. So
yay!
Move down here and shut the whole town down. So I guess it's my fault.
You didn't move here officially for shutting it down. That wasn't your fault. That was already going to happen.
Okay,
we're happy to have you here. We're very happy to have you join us.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so I was just talking to Mel, about Monday night's game, and this is the inaugural home season opener for the Las Vegas Raiders. But there was no spectators.
Yeah.
How did you feel when Mark made that decision? What was your kind of thoughts on that with the Allegiant being completed?
Well, I'm torn, but Mark's got a very good reason. And Mark stayed out of the game also. He said he's not going to the game until fans can go in. And Mark wants it open. When he opens it, he wants it open to everyone. He wants a packed stadium. He doesn't want to see a sparse crowd.
Right.
If he's gonna open that thing, he wants to do it right. And kudos to him. That's good.
Yeah.
You can't argue. You can sit here and debate it back and forth either way, one way or another. But hey, he's going to wait and open it and have the grand opening like he said he wants to, and do it that way. So good for him.
Yeah, and I think I'll appreciate it that way too. I think it'll make it more special and something to look forward to with all this chaos.
Right,
That's
I think
kind of
so
an exciting
too.
moment.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was exciting to see a bunch of the fans outside of the stadium this week.
Oh yeah,
they were rolling into town hot and heavy, and they were ready to roll. So that was very good to see everybody coming out, and it was a huge win Monday night against the Saints because everybody knows Saints are could be a Super Bowl contender, and so that's a big win, and the first win at home is always a sweet one.
It really is. I was super excited. We always commanded the lead. We never fell back, even when Drew Brees threw that interception. I was like, okay, typically a Raiders faction, we won't be able to score off of any of these plays, but we were able to.
Yeah.
We were able to, and I was just so elated because Derek Carr this is the second week that Derek Carr has actually had an amazing performance. I'm very impressed with his play calling as well as the sequences that they're doing and his pass plays.
Yeah, he's playing exceptionally well, and he's found a big time target and a big time talent in Darren Waller. Oh wow, that kid can play now.
Oh, I know, and his story is amazing too. On top of that, just a walk-on guy. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, a walk-on guy that got signed off a practice squad. Just a kid that went out and worked, and it's paying off. So kudos to him, and kudos to everybody over there at the Raiders for getting into work. And I mean, they got a lot of young guys that have filled in some holes, and it's been fun to watch them. And I just look forward to them growing as the year goes on.
Yeah.
So Jay, do you feel that Derek Carr is back? I know that he had the injury a previous season, and we saw him. Is this the is this the Derek Carr that that the Raiders are ready for? That the season that they can count on throughout the season?
Yeah, no, I haven't seen him in person, but what I've seen over the first 2 weeks, it looks like he's got some zip back on his ball. He looks like he's confident throwing it. He looks like he feels good throwing it. That's a good sign. He's got a lot of confidence. He's stepping into throws. There was at the beginning of last year, I thought he had a good year last year, but at the beginning of the year, it was that kind of unsure, what's going to happen. And I think his arm got stronger, and I think he just built confidence. So I look for him to have a great year this year.
All right. So out of the two wide receivers, Jay, because we just picked up Henry Ruggs through the draft, but we also have Hunter Renfrow. If you were Carr, who are you throwing the ball to right now at this juncture? Because Ruggs looks nice, but I like the hands on Hunter Renfrow too.
Well, here's the thing. It's not you don't want to pick either or. I think what the Raiders have done, what Coach Gruden has done, what Derek have done is spread the ball around. And, I loved Ruggs. I thought that was a great pick. They needed somebody to stretch the defense and get over the top. And that just allows more room for Waller and Renfrow to go underneath. And, those guys can catch it. So you've got to look at it in every play. You've got to do one of two things. And you'd like to do either you got to stretch them vertically or you got to stretch them horizontally. Right. And if you can do both, I mean, it's a win-win. So I thought last year what they lacked was anybody to go vertical down the field. And now with Ruggs, I think they have that ability. So, they're gonna hit some deep balls there, and that's going to stretch and open up things for the other guys. So I think it's a great combination.
I do too. I think we're looking really good. Now we go off to Foxborough on Sunday. Facing up a Cam Newton, who's actually showing us that he belongs in the league, and he's actually that elite of a quarterback. And with a coach like Belichick and the line that he has, they're kind of trying to make something happen. I mean, they're very, very close wins that they have. Very close. So What is your take for Sunday? What do you think the Raiders need to do to kind of combat that?
It's going to be a big challenge defensively because Cam Newton is playing great football. He's an exceptional talent. I mean, he's a fullback that runs and can throw. You know, I mean, nobody has seen that combination. You know, we've seen the Randall Cunninghams and the scat guys that can move around, but he's big. He's a beast. So defensively, it's a huge challenge. Okay, and offensively, my concern is, man, we got an offensive line that is just beat up. You know, they're just beat up this early in the season. So there's going to be some. Everybody's got the right assignments. So those are the two big areas that I see going up there, and traveling across the country, and hopefully they can keep on that high from Monday night and play well.
I hope so too. Yeah. I really do, because Jonathan Abrams scared me.
Man, when he fell down and then didn't want to get up.
Didn't want to get up. I feel like he was having a Rodney Tisdale moment. Like he got up, jumped up, and took off. He didn't do a somersault or anything like in Jerry Maguire, but I felt like he laid there long enough where I was like, get up, please get up, and for him to just get up and run off. That was my only nervous moment.
Yeah, because we saw his replay of him, and and you were like, "Oh my god, what did he hit?" And then he literally didn't hit anything and just lay there. And I was like, "Oh man."
Well,
not another torn labrum. I don't want that to be reactivated. Like, what's going on?
It's frustrating when you see these guys get hurt without getting hit, or Irvin, from your team the other day, Mel, rounding the corner, just getting caught, and he just can't take that pressure, But I look at the Denver game, the game back there where, the San Francisco game, there was a ton of injuries. Yeah. I mean, that's okay. There's something with the field when you've got 5 or 6 guys going down with major leg injuries in one game. That's unusual.
It really is.
Over the first few weeks of the season, a lot of injuries to a lot of key guys. I don't think there's more injuries than the past. I just think it happens to be some very key guys for teams, and it's unfortunate because we all want to see the best go against the best, and we want them to stay healthy, But being a player, being a former player, it's part of the game. It's unfortunate. We all know, the old saying is this: you hope you play long enough to get hurt, because that means it's inevitable. With as big and strong as everybody is, you're going to get hurt at some point in time. Your body just can't do that. You just hope that you can play long enough that it's part of the natural progression.
Well, and speaking on the injuries, because obviously there was no preseason this year, so that. Do you think that has played a factor in the injuries that we're seeing now? And like you said, there hasn't been necessarily more injuries in previous years, but it's happening to more of the key players that, maybe are taking on their team, like Saquon Barkley. I mean, people are just, and Christian McCaffrey, that kind of thing, and Nick Bosa. Yeah. Like, what do you think about the injuries? And do you think there's something they can do to kind of work on that for next season, whether it be having some sort of preseason shortened, I don't know. I'm at a loss. My fantasy football has been crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's my take on it. The injuries that have occurred aren't because of conditioning in preseason. They're knee injuries, they're high ankle sprains, stuff that happens. It just, as I said, it happens. I would be concerned if there was a lot of pulled muscles, a lot of hamstrings, because guys just aren't in shape. But that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing the unfortunate part of it, where guys get hurt. So I don't know if preseason was a big deal. I don't like no preseason games. I think 1 or 2, because I think it's hard to get timing early on, and I think you see that in some of the teams. It's hard to get the rhythm, and until you actually play the game and get at game speed. So, I think they'll look at it. I think that, and the other thing is, a player, I feel bad for the guys trying to make the teams. Preseason's where you get your shot. And so I think a good compromise of play would be play 2 preseason games. Because that way, because basically what you want is, in the first preseason game, you want your starters to play maybe a quarter, get out, play maybe a quarter and a half, maybe to a half the second game, but that allows you to evaluate the other talent to see if they can play in this league. Because I don't know, with the college football season this year being the way it is, and I had the opportunity to coach Penei Sewell, the offensive tackle out of Oregon. I coached him in high school. I coached all of him and his brothers, and I coached him when I was up in St. George, and he's a phenomenal talent. And you know what? I think it's the right move to opt out of the season because, if something happens, he can't go any higher in his stock. He's phenomenal. He won the Outland Trophy last year. So, it's just a freak injury here, knees, ankles, that, as I said, I would be concerned if it was pulled hamstrings and different things like that.
Yeah.
Well, and then it's also a COVID season, so practicing didn't get to you didn't get to have usual training camps and practice time, and I believe a lot of their like actual full contact pad scrimmages were even shortened too, which may play some factor as well. But I mean, what else can we expect in these last few months of 2020?
I know one thing. If I was out there trying to run gassers and wind sprints, I surely wouldn't want a mask on trying to do that. So I mean, it's crazy, and everybody has to adjust. We were talking before. It's every day's a new day. You got to go figure it out for that day the best you can. And people that look back and say, well, we should have done this. Guess what? Nobody knew. Nobody had an idea.
Nope.
We can sit here and second guess everybody till the cows come home. It's not going to do any good. It's here's the situation we have today. How can we make it the best we can make it and progress as a football team? And that's what the good teams are going to do.
Well, and speaking of masks, what's your feeling on these coaches and all these fines that are coming down?
$100,000 on our Monday night game.
Same for Coach Carroll too.
Pete Carroll.
A lot of coaches are getting fined. It's just, and I think it's a combination of things. It's unusual to have a mask, and to try to call. And these guys get fired up. You get fired up in the game, and you want to be heard, so you pull it down. So it's a catch-22. I don't think I could keep a mask up if I was calling plays. I really don't. Because you get in the heat of the moment, and your adrenaline level goes and all that. But the league wants them to try to do it. I do have to. I do chuckle because you see the coach with the mask on, and then he still holds the play chart above his face so you can't see it.
It's all habit,
Yeah,
it's all habit. So,
and then Andy Reid has his shield, so he thinks Andy Reid's got his shield, and it fogs up, and then sometimes it doesn't fog up. So as I said,
that's what I said. Everybody's trying to do the best they can.
And
I look at it this way. I'm going to try to laugh it off because this is so unusual. That's but $100,000 for each coach and $250,000 for the team. That's pretty steep. So it's
not nice something you want to repeat for sure. You don't want to keep that fine going.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
So I think you'll see the coaches try to maybe go to the gator, the neck gator, because that seems to stay a little more. Everybody's got their own thing. They got to figure out what's comfortable for them.
They really do.
I don't see John Gruden wearing the, face shield,
I don't see that either. I don't even see him wearing a Chucky mask. I don't see him putting on any kind of mask at this. Because he gets so fired up and he spits fire, but he's going to have to do something. So maybe the gator mask would be, that looks like him. That may be him. Yeah.
So, I think it's trial and error, and everybody's got to try to figure it out at this point.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I know that Coach Carroll was asked about if he was going to maybe join the Andy Reid technique and wear the actual face shield. And he was like, no, not at all.
No.
But I don't know if you guys noticed between week 1 Andy Reid mask where it was getting all fogged up, where week 2 Andy Reid mask actually was attached to his hat. He had it was like a little button or like a pit that was, and I was like, wow, they're getting inventive now with these things.
So they figured it out.
That's what I said. Every week you're going to see a little something different and, just go from there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hey, so being that you're also a former Washington football team member, of course, back then of Redskins, we do have a question from one of our listeners, and he was asking about what you think of their current state of the Washington football team and, kind of your thoughts on what's happening out there right now.
Well,
compared to your day, it's.
Yeah. Well, here's my thought. and I was back there when a lot of this started and everything else. The logo on the side of the Washington Redskin helmet that I wore was designed by an Indian chief representing two other Indian chiefs.
Wow.
Okay. They looked at it as an honor. And they said every time the Washington Redskins play on TV, it's an honor to them to be represented.
Wow.
Unfortunately, there's a small majority of people out there that have nothing to do with those Indians or those people that have created a fuss. It's like the Braves, it's like the Seminoles. This one just got traction, and it got traction at the right time with everything else going on. And people ask me, when you get introduced, what's going to say? My Super Bowl ring says Washington Redskins. That's the team I played for.
Right.
I can't change that. Okay. That's what it is. It says Washington Redskins. Moving forward, what they are is what they are. For me, I played for the Washington Redskins. So, it's, and here's the thing, we all learn, we all want to get better, and we try to do the right thing. I just don't think that the people that say it's offensive are the people that are being targeted. That's what bothers me. Because I also know down in Arizona, one of the Indian tribes, their high school is nicknamed the Redskins. If the Indian tribe has a nickname of Redskins, what are we doing?
Right.
So let's not jump to conclusions. But I understand, and it's all political, which drives me crazy. People pushing agendas across here and there. It's a nickname. It's a nickname.
Right.
Okay. And when you find out that the headdress on the side of the helmet was designed by an Indian chief, you might want to look at it a little bit.
And it's crazy. I did not know this fact, and it kind of brings a similarity between Cap kneeling and him getting him talking to other military people that were in his service to get there, and saying that they were, that it was still also a sign of being, but better than sitting was to kneel for them.
Yeah.
And just like here, I didn't know that there was two Indian chiefs that had made this design, and now we're having that same issue where you're telling them you can't do it, but it's really the people that you're trying to. Yeah. It's just too much, It's
just exactly. People get involved and are too sensitive. Trying to create issues instead of let's create harmony. What's wrong with that? And I think that's part of the problem. People are out there, and unfortunately with social media, it's too easy to create issues.
I feel like 2020 is just like one big tissue box. Like everybody's sensitive, everybody's emotional, everybody,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very triggering climate right now.
It is.
The good news is sports is actually back. I'm not going to call it as a distraction, but just a beacon of hope that we can still continue to celebrate some of the small things, the things that we like, in midst of it all.
It brings a sense of normality back to, because people haven't had steady jobs. Their jobs have been interrupted. Their families have been interrupted. Schools have been interrupted. Now sports are on, and it seems kind of normal. Now it's different. We all know it's very different. You got basketball on a bubble and baseball. It's West Coast, East Coast, all that, but they're back, and it gives people hope, and that's what we have to do.
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. Yeah. And that's safe and as best as we can. So tell us about everything going on in your world with the world of golf and your tournaments. And did you have any tournament interruptions during this pandemic? Were there things that you had planned that didn't get carried on?
We've had a pushback. We've canceled 2 of our tournaments and pushed back 4 other tournaments. Next week, we actually, with the SGC Foundation, when people like to look at it, it's sgc-foundation.org. And what we do is we put on golf tournaments. We have a very simple model. If it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. And, it's Steve Ganser and I run the whole organization. And basically it comes down to this. We got big hearts for children's hospitals. We do the one down in Houston is Maxwell House of Abilities, where they bring in kids with autism, okay, and teach them how to do jobs so they can go out into the job market. Okay.
Wow.
So we're doing next weekend, the second in Houston. We're playing the Tour 18. We're out there where they have 18 of the most famous holes in one golf course. So they have Amen Corner. They have the 18th at Pebble, so you get to play this fantastic golf course, do that. Then we're going down to Panama City, the end of the month, down there to play down there. That one is ass in the sand, toes in the water.
Okay.
We're playing that. And then December.
Do you need any golf, people to help with the bags?
Yeah, do we need the bags or drive the cart or anything like that?
Well, yeah. Here's what you got to do. Okay. December 1st, we're coming here to Vegas. December 1st. Okay. And we're going to be out at Revere Golf Course. So you girls have got to come out and help us out. It's going to be a good time. It's all about having fun and raising some money for children's hospitals and children and families in need. That's what it's about.
Very good.
Exactly. Well, count us in for here in Las Vegas, but I mean, it's just, and I think that's great. Here's a question. So, when you retire from a professional sport, is it like golf clubs that just come immediately to players? I feel like everybody leaves professional sports or on their way out starts with the whole golf thing.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's a challenge. It's a way to compete and a way for us to continue to challenge ourselves to get better. That's all we've done our whole life. We've competed and we've challenged to try to get better. And golf is the most humbling game out there. The little stupid ball sits there on the grass and you're supposed to hit it straight and to try to repeat and do it over and over. The more I do it, the more I respect the guys that do it for a living, because it's impossible to get, consistent at it. So it's just a way to go out and compete and challenge yourself. That's all we've ever done in our lives.
All right.
Man, woo. Kick myself there.
Yeah,
it was like a small earthquake over at my house, apparently. But Jay, I know that you had recently moved here when we had you on the show last time, and shout out to Gorilla Cross and Quan and everybody at the studio, because we had a great time in the studio with you. But so how has it been? We've had the whole quarantine COVID thing, but you moved, and then pretty much right after, you're kind of thrusted into this whole lockdown almost. How have you been able to?
4 months of lockdown, looking at the same four walls here. Now the good news is with sports back up, people are start getting it back out. There's gatherings, there's things starting to go. So it's nice to be out and about, and Vegas is a great town. There's a lot of golf courses I was able to play, and during the quarantine, that's the only thing that got me out. So I was very fortunate to be able to do that. So I'm enjoying my time here in Vegas, and so far so good. So looking forward to a long time.
And I noticed that you have one of the commemorative bricks out at Allegiant as well.
I do.
So that's got to be just another. How did you feel as far as getting that, and what does it mean for you to see that?
It's a tremendous feeling, because playing sports at a professional level is hard, because all of a sudden it comes to an abrupt end, but the sport continues, and you always feel like you're kind of left out. And Al Davis and Mark Davis said, that's not happening to our guys. We're going to remember them. So the commemorative bricks that he did for everybody that played in a Raider uniform was phenomenal.
Wow.
And it's something it's something I'll be able to take my grandkids to and say, hey, look, I was a member here and everything else. So it's pretty cool to have that. And thank Mark Davis for doing that. That was tremendous to do for all the alumni I've ever played.
And I'm really surprised, not necessarily surprised, but I'm impressed, more so surprisingly impressed of how this organization and Mark Davis has made every type of consideration for all the fans with the season tickets, giving the option of rolling them over and not just saying it's refund only and going back into having to try and get PSLs again, and looking out for the common man. We're always labeled the outlaws of the team, but of the league, but we have a heart. Like, we are the hearts of the fans, the heart with the owner, yourself, and former players like Chuck Woodson and all that. You guys really wanted to be Raiders and you wanted to really be in that organization. And it just kind of opens up this big brother and sisterhood that just looks so amazing in Las Vegas. It's surreal for me. I cannot believe still to this day that I just literally watched a game with the Raiders in Las Vegas. Even though I wasn't there, they were the Las Vegas Raiders. It's still bringing me chills, and it's just such an exciting thing.
Well, think about this. I mean, over the last 7 to 10 years, 10 years ago, everybody was like, Vegas is a sports town, but they'll never have a sports team.
Yeah.
7 years ago, well, Vegas is a sports town, but, there's sports betting, and it's highly unlikely there's going to be a team, so don't get your hopes up. And all of a sudden, hey, let it,
Bam.
We all need to thank the NHL for putting the Golden Knights here, right? I mean, because all of a sudden what happened was everybody in Vegas absolutely adored them, loved hockey. The Vegas Knights were successful on top of it. Then the Aces come in, the Aces are doing great. And all of a sudden now the Raiders come in and everybody's primed. And people in this town want teams they can root for, that they're home teams, and they're showing it. So it's been phenomenal to be here so far.
It really has.
Yeah.
And I was very shocked to see as many Saints fans as I did. They traveled 1,500 miles to sit up in their hotel room or go to the sports book or whatever to watch their team lose. They basically loitered and lost.
Right. Well,
and they had to fly all the way back.
It was a lot of fun. I obviously couldn't go to the game Monday night. Nobody could. So I was over at Westgate Sportsbook, and there's a ton of people there, Raider fans. And there was, I would say, at least couple hundred of Saints fans that had tickets for the game, and they just said, we're still going to Vegas. And
that's awesome.
we're gonna, so kudos to them. And, that shows a lot about the Saints fans, and they came in. So we had a good time going back and forth. And I was surrounded by some Saints fans there. So it was a lot of fun. And, I was very fortunate to see that they traveled so well. That's a good sign for Las Vegas.
It really is. It was a good indicator that, regardless of what's going on in our city, regardless of everything shut down, if you will, people are still coming.
Right.
And stimulating our economy. So
yes, yeah. So definitely. It's a good thing. So
it is.
Yeah. And the Westgate is kind of like the granddaddy of all sports books.
That's like the mothership for sure. Right? It's old school.
So, I mean, that's when everybody comes to Vegas. Like, we got to go to the Westgate. We got to go put a bet in at the Westgate. Like, that's just kind of like almost its own attraction in itself. And it's glad to see that sports has given that opening back for the sports books.
Yeah, that's the good thing. As I said, people are getting out, people are getting back to that little bit of sense of normalcy, but it's abnormal. It's a whole new ball game, but hey, we're getting there. And let's all be patient, let's all be understanding. Sometimes it's going to go well and sometimes it's not. We understand that. And how do we deal with it at that point? Take, as I said earlier, let's take today and make it a good day and go from there. That's all. That's all any of us can do.
Absolutely,
that's all we can. That's all we can. Well, before we let you go, I wanted to also have you talk a little bit about the new sports show that you and a friend of the show, Rich, have started, and give us a little information on how you guys, join forces here and what your objective is and what your guys' goal is going on.
Well, ironically, Rich and I met at a golf tournament about a year ago, and surprisingly,
who would have thought that? Who would have thought? Wow, you don't say. I would have never.
And we kicked around the idea. Rich has always been, he was with CBS for so long and did such a great job. Yeah, big in radio. And so we're actually going to kick off a show. We're going to start doing one. It'll be on all social media platforms and everything else. But we didn't want to do it in a studio or anything else. So we're actually going to shoot it from Senior Frogs at Treasure Island.
Oh, wow. Okay, very good.
And very get out there. So we're going to do that starting Thursday nights. Tomorrow night will be the first one at 5 o'clock out there. Okay. So we want people to come out and feel like they're a part of it. I think, the more I get to do this, the more I like to be in front of people. And just because I like to meet people and find out their stories and go from there. So we're doing that, and which is a lot of fun. And with the foundation, we're going to start our own YouTube channel. The same thing. I get to host a little show on there. It's all about the kids for that. And we want to basically, Steve and I got together and said, 2020 has been crap. Okay, for everybody. Right. but there's a lot of good people out there doing some really nice things. So we're going to start highlighting those people and, talking about the people that are still out there fighting the good fight and doing things because they need to be heard, and people need to know that people are helping out all over the place and, you can too. And it makes the world a better place without a doubt.
It sure does.
It really does.
So Thursdays, they can come to Senior Frogs
come to Senior Frogs at 5:00. We'll do it the first part of the game, the Thursday night games. They can sit there and and that way they can enjoy the games and all that. So Thursday night Senior Frogs 5:00. So we'll see you there. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Yay.
I'm
Jay,
excited
thank
for that.
you so much. We really are thankful for you coming on. I mean, it worked out. We pre-planned it, and it just happened to work out so perfectly after the Monday Night Football game. I was like, oh, this is what happens. A good thing of 2020.
It was a great timing. It was great timing.
It was meant to be. Well, you girls have a good time. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much. Raiders.
Bye.
Raiders.
I love
Shout out to Jay Schroeder.
And he's going to be perfect for a show. Like,
absolutely. Personality and all. He's just an all-time guy.
Him and Rich are good. I mean, and I had met Rich doing Big 3 coverage back when Big 3 was here in Las Vegas. And we had chatted and, just good people all around, good Vegas sports people. And I'm really excited for that show. So we'll have to check them out one Thursday or something.
Yeah, we will.
And head down there.
Yeah.
But I know we didn't get to talk about our other Vegas sports, like our Las Vegas Aces.
We got to talk about our Aces who beat the Sun last night. We got to talk about this series. It's 1-1. Yeah, let's go. It's game time for real.
Asia came out. So Asia, our new MVP, back-to-back MVPs, people, okay? Asia this is only her third season. She's got back-to-back MVPs. She's helping lead a team into the WNBA finals, hopefully. We just got to knock off these Suns.
Yeah. And I think we can do it. I really do. Their first game was not a good game for any of them.
Well, did you see it?
They
had like 30 points in the first half. It was terrible.
Yeah, they were getting blown out. And there was not, when they were trying to do a turnaround back in the fourth quarter, when they finally kind of turned it on, started showing up a little bit more defensively and that, it just was it fell short, just a little too late. But this time around, they knew what they had to do. She had to prove her worthiness of the regular season MVP. And showing and proving why she's back-to-back MVP. Along with De'Erica Hamby, who got Sixth Woman of the Year. Congratulations to her on that. So our squad is actually doing really well. Man, Angel McCoughtry, I have to bow down to her.
I'm sorry. Let me stop myself. Because De'Erica was back-to-back. It wasn't Asia that was
okay. So back-to-back De'Erica Hamby, Sixth Woman of the Year. Yeah.
Yes.
But Angel McCoughtry, I wanna just bow down to her.
Man,
because I am so impressed with, she is a game changer for that team. She has really lit a fire for them. She's made Jackie Young look better too. Jackie Young's playing up. She's playing up very well. I miss a little bit of Kayla, but I know Kayla can play up when it comes to this postseason. She's going to do her thing. But I'm loving the series. I think when we have game 3, when's game 3? Is game 3 this week?
Thursday.
Okay. So tomorrow is game 3. So we can take it 2-1.
I think so too. And I feel like, so WNBA final or semifinals, finals, they're all 5-game series from now on. So we just got to push these out. Like you said, I miss Kelsey, but at the same time, I feel like this season gave Jackie Young the chance to kind of find her own. Yeah. And now I think when we get into next season, I don't want to look too far ahead, but we get to next season, we got Kelsey and Liz back. I mean, Ann Angel's still there. And it's going to be like its own dream team, to be honest.
It really is. It is. It's going to be like a big 4. Forget a big 3, big 4. It's got a squad.
Just a squad.
Let's just say the starting 5.
But here's what I'm really looking forward to, y'all. And I don't want to, I'm just going to put it in the air so that it can be heard, seen, grasped, and brought into fruition. Mm-hmm. When the Las Vegas Aces win the WNBA championship this year, it'll be the first championship Las Vegas has seen from a professional sports team. And it'll be women that bring it here.
Yeah. I just hope this also gives an awakening that our Aces are the real deal and that we get more spectators and more participants and more fans, building our bigger fan base. I think we all love winners. In Vegas, the rule is the house always wins.
Right.
So we have to rally our girls because this will be monumental. This will be very historic. And me being a born and raised person, again, I thought I'd never live to see the day we have a Raiders team here, Knights team here, as well as an Aces team here who could be WNBA champions.
Right. Now, my only thing is they better still have a championship parade. COVID and all, wear a mask if you got to. Let's have it down the strip. Let's go and let's see these leagues. And my thing is, I've been super happy to see a lot of these WNBA posts by people that we usually don't see posts from, and a lot of posts about the Aces winning that we usually haven't seen people post about. So I hope that continues. I hope it continues no matter however the outcome is for this season. I hope it continues into next season. And I hope that people realize that the WNBA is here and we just need everybody to enjoy and represent their teams.
Yeah, and if they do have the parade, I'm nominating you to go to that because I feel like it'll be crowded and I won't go. I'm sorry. I'll just have to watch that virtually.
I will bring a couple masks.
But definitely. But double up, shield, do Andy Reid, do whatever you got to do. If you got to look like hazmat, but the Aces colorway, though. Maybe I can design something for you. But yeah, be safe out there. But I would love to see that. I would love to see that. That would be awesome. Absolutely.
It would be amazing for this city. And just to know that it was a women's team that brought it here first.
Exactly. That's the key word, women's team. Women do it best. We know this. We know this, Mel. We already know. We're just reminding our audience to know that.
We just like to remind those out there.
And remind those. Yes, absolutely. So do you want to get into NFL picks? Because we know what's going to happen with these injuries. Do you want to go over the week 2 ones, or do you want to talk about MJ's new acquisition real quick?
Let's talk about MJ real quick.
Let's talk about it.
First of all, Bubba Wallace was definitely in the media this year in regards to NASCAR and getting the Confederate flag out of all the stadiums and the racetracks, which was amazing. But Michael Jordan has teamed up with Hamlin Racing, and gonna have his own car, his own I'm not
his own racing team.
Yeah, I'm still new to NASCAR, so I'm like, what's the team called? I forget
it's the racing team. So Bubba Wallace used to be with Richard Petty's racing team. Yeah, that's why you saw Team Petty behind him in solidarity when they're pushing the cars, because he was Team Petty. And recent news had broke that he was parting ways with Team Petty. No one knew why. It was kind of like, oh my God, he's leaving Richard Petty's team.
Why would he do that?
What's he gonna do?
Yeah.
And then boom, shakalaka. Here comes MJ. Clutch MJ. Making money moves, car moves, and moving in silence, so we didn't even know. So now that we're going to have a possible all black or diverse group, we'll say, inclusionary, but black owned, NASCAR team. And it's not the first one. There's another young African-American lady that has her own NASCAR team as well. But to see MJ and then to recruit someone like Bubba Wallace, who has kind of been the catalyst for the change that has been going on within the league, the immediate change that happened in NASCAR. I think it's the fastest I've ever seen a sports flip on a perspective like that. So, he is actually going to be that kind of catalyst for that type of team. I think that's amazing.
And can we just talk about getting Team Jordan NASCAR gear for Bubba Wallace? I can't wait for that. I can't wait to sport my Bubba Wallace gear with the Team Jordan logo on it. That's, listen. Shout out to Dre Day who joined in. Shout out to Mike Dixon who had come in earlier. We were mid-conversation, but he gave us a shout out. We appreciate Vegas Sports Daily. As usual, you can check our podcast out on vegasportsdaily.com, as well as all of Vegas's sports news and then some. KT's in the house. We do have our bet. I talked about it earlier, KT. So go Seahawks.
He's being funny.
Right.
Yeah. Dre, thank you for picking my Raiders to win. I had picked the Raiders to win. I don't know what these people were thinking, that they could come to Vegas and possibly win. And shout out to my Let the Ball Bounce. Shout out to those guys that Get Money Ministries pot, because I picked the Raiders. A lot of doubters on there. They're all like, Mo, you're killing it. You're winning. I try to strive to do my best. That's all I can say, fellas. But take it from a lady. I know. We know.
Well, here's the deal.
Intuition, and we know.
Now, I picked the Raiders too for your game, and I was rooting for them the entire time. I think most people out here now that are living here or from here, we all may still have an allegiance somewhere. My Raiders are here.
Yeah.
Just not when team. It happened like once every other year. Do you think win also was happening with Drew Brees? Really falling.
I think it was Michael Thomas was their factor.
In a couple, in like, 6 weeks I saw, is it, Michael Thomas was that much of an impact for him? I mean, we didn't even really see Kamara too hard or nothing.
Well, Kamara was running. We just were gunning for him, and we were just able to defensively stop him because he's like Christian McCaffrey. When they get those speed under their legs, you can't stop them at all. But we were able to. Our Raiders defense just did phenomenal with those runs with Kamara because that was his go-to. I feel like that's all he pretty much had. Who else? Somebody else got hurt really early from the Saints too. That was out. I'm trying to think. I have him on my fantasy team, but put up a very few points, and then I didn't see any more of it. But here's the deal: we met with the Raiders. Our Raiders met up with the Saints. I want to say, what was it, 2018 season in Alameda? Yeah. We beat them then. And we didn't have the line we had back in 2018.
So it's nothing that you're not used to already.
No. That's what I went off of my pick. I was like, Saints do very well in their own home. Superdome is kind of like their energy, their power source. Like they can't do any wrong within the Superdome. But when they get outside of that, it's always some complications. They're back at home this week. They're back at home.
Okay.
So they may want revenge, but I don't know. We'll get into our picks, but yeah. We just held them the entire game.
Like KT said, Jacobs did have an kind of off fantasy night. Like he wasn't the target. Obviously, it was a lot of touchdowns from the passing standpoint.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We didn't really get those points. And
you're not going to get them every time from Josh Jacobs. Listen, They know that he is the great 28. They know that there is a run offensive play that involves Josh Jacobs to get yardage. Every team is defensively already got their mind set up on trying to get Josh Jacobs. So that's why Derek's got to go long with more of his pass plays. And it's a great look. If he can do some great routes, that'll get him closer to the end zone to score. I'm for it. But you're not going to get, when you get the strong defensive teams, you're not going to get the yardage that you would expect from a Josh Jacobs unless we do a long pass play. Just know that going forward. I wasn't surprised by that. I knew they were going to neutralize him some kind of way. But like I said, we had Henry Ruggs on one end. We had Jonathan Abelman as our safety doing his work. And then Hunter Renfrow got those hands. Then shout out to my guy, Mad Max Crosby. That is my defense man. I love Mad Max. Shout out to him. Because I didn't see anything coming on with him in week 1. And I was like, Mad Max, you better show up on week 2. And he did when it mattered. So, and we didn't have Vontaze Burfict. We didn't have Incognito. You got to understand, some of our defensive players are out. And Darren Waller is that dude, ladies and gentlemen.
He was getting it.
He was that dude. He is that guy. I expected nothing but greatness from him. When we watched the Hard Knocks and heard his story about his drug addiction and everything that he had to face adversely, and being a walk-on practice team player and getting kept to the main roster, I mean, you couldn't be more excited. You knew there was talent there.
My only issue with that, though, is, and I know his story. We all heard this story during Hard Knocks, and maybe it was just because it was a Monday Night Football game and it's like the nation's watching, but I felt like every story that discussed Waller and how great he was playing also led to and he surpassed drug addiction. And I'm like, how much longer do we have to talk about that part? And let's just talk about how great he's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a little over the top.
It was a little over top. Well, everybody likes to hear some kind of silver lining story when it comes to the Raiders. And keep in mind, this was another week that the Raiders didn't suffer major penalties. A lot of the penalties were given to the Saints. Week 1, we didn't have a lot of penalties. So if we can keep that momentum going, I'll be happy. Because every time a flag was thrown, I was like, who's the penalty on now? And
that's my life.
Saints, and I'm like, good
call. That's all we deal with is penalties. Holding. I mean, it's always something with this. I feel like that's my one thing as people say about the Seahawks, like they could be a contender for the Super Bowl. If we can just deal with our penalties, offensive holding, and it's probably the biggest problem we have. And I'm really impressed, not to change the subject into my team at all.
No, go for it.
But, our offensive line has actually been holding up a lot better than it has in previous years. And whether it's not great, baby steps, you know what I mean? Russ has had a little more time in the pocket, whether it be to throw it or run. And Russ has been cooking. He's still.
So what was your take on that game on Sunday? Were you having heart palpitations? Because I was.
I mean, here's the deal. I think as a Seahawks fans, we all realize that Sundays are going to be really hard for our hearts, just because it's always intense. And through last year, it's always come down. Like last year, we've always been down until the fourth quarter. At least so far this year, we're up, but then we're not necessarily fulfilling that and staying, with a good lead to where we can just kind of relax. At first, during that third quarter, I was like, I'm kind of feeling all right. Like I'm not stressed out. We got a nice little lead, but then fourth quarter happened and Cam happens, and it's like, and then we get down to the 1 yard line, and it literally is the same situation that we had in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, except for instead of us passing, they decided to run.
Yeah.
Again, injuries. Also, Quandre Diggs, our safety, our first string safety, was ejected because of the helmet-to-helmet contact. That hurt us. Then our second string safety came in and got injured. He now, I think, is either got out for this season or an IR. Bruce Irvin is out for this season. And I know there's a few people that I've seen through social media like, Bruce Irvin, he suffered an injury down for this season. You guys are going to suck now. First of all, Bruce Irvin just came back this year, okay? He's still 32, although he was in the starting lineup for our defense. We're going to still make it happen. Bobby Wagner's still there. KJ Wright.
You got Jamal Adams.
Can we talk about Jamal?
You got Jamal Adams, yo. Like,
Jamal
stop it, everybody.
One-man defensive show. This man is on coverage. He's sacking quarterbacks. Listen,
check this out, dude. Jamal Adams is bank on him. All day.
I'm putting the bank on him for next season.
Yeah,
so pay the man, make him feel at home, give him a pillow, put his feet up, make it good for him.
Right. Hey,
you gotta tell me. The one that was tough though is because obviously being a 12th man, waiting for that crowd to kick in on plays like that when it's the 1 yard line, they're ready to go in and win the game. Our 12th man is usually there so loud, and I feel like we had talked about in previous episodes that our fake crowd noise wasn't as good as our real crowd noise. And I wish that instead of everybody having the same decimal crowd noise that is throughout all stadiums, that they should at least make it comparable to what the stadium usually sounds like. So that was just a little tough for me, not being able to hear the crowd noise.
They've been doing that. Yeah, that's the thing too. And I was curious about that because I was like, I wonder how the Seahawks are going to play without their crowd noise, because the crowd noise is an attributing factor to you guys' playmaking. And the fact that there were no spectators, I was very intrigued with how that sound was going to be.
And there's not going to be any.
And that threw y'all off on y'all game a little bit.
It did. I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's also what happened in that fourth quarter. We're used to having those fans there, and with them not being there, it kind of was like you saw the guys on the sideline literally trying to make the noise for everybody else, I don't know. But I believe Russ is definitely in good contention for MVP this year. Not with the Cowboys. Cowboys will lose for sure on Sunday. But Adams.
Yeah.
So Sunday was good, and then we got with your Monday night games. Those were all good. We can get before we get into our picks. Can we talk about Tyrod Taylor and the team doctor?
Oh my gosh. I mentioned that really you were trying to give him a shot for his punctured ribs and you end up puncturing a lung or helping him with, what were they doing? What were they doing?
Yeah. So apparently they were trying. Well, because I guess he had a sore ribs, and they were trying to give him a pain shot for the ribs. Mm-hmm. I just don't get how you, as a professional doctor on an NFL team, somehow miss where you're supposed to go and puncture a lung. And not to mention, not just puncture a lung, he had to go off. He left the stadium, went to the doctor, get medical attention, and he's not even starting this week, and he's not even able to play yet.
No, the doctors haven't cleared him yet. Until the doctors clear him, that's when he'll be able to play. And who knows when that will be.
I'm wondering if that doctor still has.
He said he's not angry or anything. That's what he says. He's not mad. He's not angry. But
that's what he's saying.
However, that's what I'm saying. That's for the Twitter world and all of us that just want to be nice. But sorry, that's malpractice. Sorry, I would be trying to sue. I would be like, what is going on? That team doctor no longer needs to be with the Chargers. How about that?
Yeah. No more.
Let's assign him somewhere else.
Yeah, he needs to go. He needs to go.
He needs to go back to school. How about that? Just go back to school. Maybe
and the only other thing, so now that Saquon's out for the season,
that's awful
the Giants signed Devontae Freeman who was playing for Atlanta. So now he's going to get a chance. There's a lot of moves out there fantasy-wise because I am 2-0 on both my women's and men's league.
I saw that. I won last week, though. I did win the week, too. So I moved up in ranking.
But the waiver wire, if you guys haven't got on the waiver wire to make those trades by today, which because, Wednesday's your Wednesday waiver wire day, you might be too late because the pickings are super slim now for running backs. We've got a lot of people that are defenses that are changing up because we have injured players all over defense too. It's just it's intense so far in these first 2 weeks.
It really is. My biggest mistake was not playing Fournette. I don't know why I sat him on the bench when I knew he was going to just ball out with the Bucs. I knew it. He brought 56 points and I sat there like a stupid head having him on the bench.
What was
funny, I thinking?
I had the Miami tight end, is it Genki or something? He balled out last week and he had like 40 some points. And I had him sitting on the bench. I mean, I still had Jacksonville's, I think, is it Jacksonville or Tennessee's tight end in? So he still did great. He had like 23 points. But the fact that I had 40 some points just sitting there on the bench.
I couldn't believe Fournette had brought me like that many points and I sat him. Like, I was like, are you serious right now? I would have never expected that. But
in our girls league, I was playing against Drew Brees. So I was like, please don't let Drew have a good game. And luckily I literally won by two points because he didn't have a good game. That interception, I think, is what helped me out.
Oh, that's what did it. It pushed the points back. As soon as he threw that pick, I was like, yes, because I was playing on one of my other fantasy teams, a guy with Drew Brees. I roll with Mahomes on most of my fantasy. But very, very good.
My boy in Seattle. He was our photographer for me and Shug's Seattle photo shoot up there in Seattle when we took our road trip. So DK and Chris Carson. So that's gonna be big. The only thing with Chris Carson, that unlike last year, is that there's more of a split. You've got Carlos Hyde up there now. Travis Homer's taking a lot of reps. It's harder that, there's almost like a three-headed monster out there now.
Yeah, it is. And Chris Carson's not getting too many touches either because I had him on my fantasy last season. It was the same type of thing. So hopefully he'll be able to do something.
Well, it's tough is that, I'm sure you feel the same way, but it's hard with having your fantasy cheering versus your real life team. Like I'm wanting my team to do great, but I'm trying to also not get.
I want the love of the points. Yeah, I want the points. Devontae Adams again did it to me again. Green Bay, I need you guys to do whatever you can do for Devontae Adams because every time I pick him, I was like, "Here's hoping." We need this guy, and then he ends up being questionable. He ends up getting hurt early. It's just oh my God, it's just such a mess.
Things
it really is.
Gesicki. Yeah, he balled out.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, listen, Carson's still gonna do good. It's just not that he's gonna we're not gonna see him probably with those like 50, 60 point games. You know what I mean? Like he's not getting the ball. He's not going to be the Christian McCaffrey that's happening. And unfortunately,
Christian's hurt too. He's out. So everybody consider this with their weekly picks because you've got some key pieces that are not playing.
So let's move into our picks a bit. So last week I went through our wins and losses, and I think the only difference that there was, I believe you basically won by having one more right pick than me.
Did I pick the Cardinals?
Huh?
Did I pick the Cardinals?
Yes, we both did.
See, and that sucks because on my little money ministries thing, I had 98% score. I got all of them right except the Cardinals game. I did not pick the Cardinals on that one.
Well, on this one, you picked the Texans and I picked the Ravens, and the Ravens won.
Yeah.
And then, you won the Dallas game, you won the Bears game. I picked the opposite. I had picked New York, and I had picked. Nobody knew that Saquon was going to be out in the first 5 seconds. That was just. It was too much. It was way too much.
Yeah.
We both lost out in the Colts game too. The Colts actually beat the Vikings unbeknownst to us. So
yeah.
So you win week 2, Mo.
Yay! Week two.
But week 3, let me see what we got.
Yeah, let's get into it. Oh, do you want to pick a Thursday night? You want to go tomorrow?
Well, yeah, we're going to start with Thursday night. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but Ryan Fitzpatrick had basically kind of gave some preemptive bashing on Thursday Night Football and talked about, it being beard versus stash, because we got Minshew Mania, which is still holding up, mind you, and doing pretty good, versus the beard. And so we've got Miami versus Jacksonville in Jacksonville. I'm actually taking the stash.
You're going to go with Minshew.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go the opposite. I'm going to check out the beard.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I'm putting that down, Dre Bailey, for Money Ministries. I still got to think about it. But I think for the show, I'm going to go for the beard. I just want to go the opposite, make it entertaining.
Okay. And then we got Houston at Pitt at the Steelers. I'm going to go with the Steelers.
I'm going with the Steelers because let me tell you something. Big Ben is doing his thing out there. And his linemen are all on it. He's back.
His defense is on it.
The defense is on. Oh, my God. Yes. Yeah, I'm going to have to go with those Steelers for sure.
The only thing is the running back situation. It's still a little like, I don't know.
I mean, Deshaun Watson has a running game. Texans, get it together. Are we going 0-3 this tenure? What's going on with them?
Tasha, we'll need your take on your Houston.
It's the Astro curse. We're not messing with Houston, period.
There you go.
Rockets got knocked out.
All right, Bengals at Philly. Bengals at Eagles. I gotta go.
I'm gonna roll with those Eagles. I'm gonna roll with these Eagles and see what they do. And again, they're shaky too. Yes, very shaky. I don't know.
Their team is looking mighty bad.
Suspect, very suspect right now.
So here we go. The Niners at the Giants. We know the Giants are touch and go, and they don't have Saquon, but the Niners are missing like 9 players.
But their backup quarterback to me is better than Jimmy Garoppolo, so I'm gonna roll with the San Francisco 49ers because Garoppolo's not playing. Kittle's a possible. I think Kittle is back on.
They don't know
about but they don't know. They don't know.
No Mostert.
Yeah, no Mostert. Yeah. So I'm gonna roll. I'm still gonna roll with San Francisco, even despite that.
You know me, I can't go with the 49ers, so I'm gonna go with the Giants.
I'm gonna do it for Quan. I'm gonna do it for Quan because Quan made my day the other day.
But man, Quan's a Raider fan now.
Yeah, he posted that. That's his second team. I'll respect it, Quan. It's okay. It's okay. There's no Battle of the Bay anymore.
I can say this. I can say the Giants because I'm not betting on them. I'm not going to go get a parlay and put the Giants on it. For sure not.
Yeah.
But I will say now. Okay. Raiders at New England.
Oh, man. You know, my heart wants to say Raiders, right? You know my heart wants to.
But your
realistically, my head is in Foxborough right now.
Well, I mean, here's the deal. They just lost. They're coming off of a loss.
I know. They want revenge. They want revenge. They want revenge. It's Belichick and company in Foxborough. Are they having spectators?
I want you guys to win, but I really do feel like it's Belichick's.
Cam almost beat you guys. I know almost doesn't count, but it was an almost win with you guys. And it was almost win the previous week. And that was just him getting his sea legs together. That previous week, that was against the Chargers, right?
Right.
Was it the Chargers game? And then this, he's getting acclimated. He's getting used to the system, and Belichick's system works, and he's getting he's getting and the players are surrounding him, and he's incorporating them. So
is that
New England?
Okay. I hope they prove us both wrong.
I hope they do too. I want Raider. I mean, I would love Raider Nation to win. I want us to go 3-0, but I just think this is where we start to take the
maybe we'd be able to bet the spread. If the spread was like
I think they got New England 3.5. I think it's 3.5. Yeah, it's a small. Yeah, it could go either way. That's a field goal.
All right,
so we'll see.
The Titans at the Vikings. Titans at the Vikings.
Titans at the Vikings. I'm gonna take Titans. I'm gonna roll with those Titans. I got Derrick Henry on my fantasy. Do work, D. Do work.
But he didn't do good the last.
He's not. That's what I'm saying. Do work. He's a heavy guy. I need you to just get a little faster. Start petering.
All right, so Washington at Cleveland. You know I'm gonna go with my Browns.
Washington team at Cleveland.
Yes.
They were very lucky they even won that game against the Bengals, to be honest with you. I know that Burrows is gonna not Burrows, I'm sorry. I know that Baker Mayfield's gonna throw a pick. That's to be expected. I think this might be a first win for Washington. Let's just roll with it. Is this the first win for Washington? Or did Washington win their first game? They won it for, I think it's their first win. But I'm going to roll with Washington. I like the Brownies too. Sorry, Alex. Sorry, Batman. I'm just trying to play the odds.
Oh, no, they did win their first one. So they're 1-1.
Yeah. So they're 1-1. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Washington team could get in there and just kick some butt. I'm sorry. Kirk Cousins is bad. He is. Yeah. They're 2020 team.
Chargers at Buffalo. This is going to be a good one.
Buffalo's. I'm going to roll with Buffalo. Josh Allen. Remember, Tyrod Taylor's out.
Oh yeah,
their quarterback is out, but they got a backup that's decent.
Good. Justin Herbert
he's decent.
Good. And it was only
good.
because of the last minute, he ran that squad fairly good. This one is a toss-up for me.
They're going to Buffalo. It's fall season in Buffalo. I'm not saying it's minus degrees yet, but it's Buffalo.
Have they had any injuries over there yet?
I think they only have one player down, if that.
Okay. I'm going to roll
Buffalo.
What's
what up, Goose?
Yes. So I'll go with that. Chicago at Atlanta. So Atlanta's 0-2, mind you.
Atlanta can't buy a win. I'm going to pick them to win because they're at home.
They're at home.
I need them to do work. I don't know if they will, though. I don't know if they will. And is that kicker still on the team?
Yeah. Who? Koo? Whatever his name is?
Well, Koo is for Atlanta. He's on my fantasy. He's actually really, really good. Yeah.
I'm going with Atlanta. Okay, so we got the Panthers at the Chargers. Mind you,
no Christian McCaffrey.
Teddy Bridgewater, is he having a good year? I don't.
It's subpar. We'll see.
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Where are they playing? They're playing Sophie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Tyrod Taylor's out, like I said, and they got that backup.
Oh no! Wait,
because the Chargers playing somebody else, right?
No, this is the Chargers. I'm talking about the Rams. That was the Rams.
Oh, the Rams in Buffalo.
Logos look so similar now.
Yes, I know. So it's Rams. I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't we talk about the Chargers already? Yeah, Rams and Buffalo. Now that's tough. Now that's tough. But I'm still gonna roll with Buffalo. I'm gonna roll with Buffalo. I'll keep it.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a tough one.
Carolina and the
Chargers. I'll go with Chargers.
Yeah. All right, Jets and Colts.
Well. Oh shoot, both equally bad. Can the Jets buy a win? I don't think they can.
Heather, are you still a Rivers fan, or are you just done with Rivers now that he's not with your team? That's what I'm wondering.
And she still bolts, I think, even on her little girls league, because I played her last week. She has a little bolts next to her name. I'm still rolling. I think I'm gonna have to roll. I'm gonna have to roll with the Colts. I'm sorry, the Jets can't buy a cup of coffee. I'm sorry, Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. I don't like the Jets.
At least they're not playing at their field. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they're not.
Right. All right, you guys.
That's our picks.
Dallas at Seattle. You already know. Mo, what are you gonna do?
Can I just preface by saying I hate the Cowboys? I hate the Cowboys. I genuinely do. But Dak has had an impressive year. Dak has broken historic records within the franchise.
Mind you, the franchise had Tony Romo in it too.
Yeah, that's true. I'm gonna roll with those. It's Russell Wilson. I can't decide. I can't. Cora says easily Seattle.
Don't listen to KT.
I'm not listening to KT. That's right. You got the bet.
I'm about to get this cluster off of KT. Watch. I'm gonna be.
I feel like Seattle could come down there and do some damage. I'm sorry. Seattle is just the dopest right now with that NFC. I'm sorry. It's Russell Wilson, you guys. It's Russell Wilson.
And very valid point, Hoa. I mean, their secondary is going to hang with DK.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. And where's Amari Cooper in all of this? Because he's been a no-show. None of all.
He did all right last week, but
not stellar. Not like what we're used to. No.
Shout out to Seattle. Shout out to my Seattle people checking in.
I see that. That's good love. That's good love. Sorry, KT.
Oh, but there's Stephanie chiming in.
But KT, you're smart. You didn't bet me on a Raiders game. You knew better. Yeah, you smart. You didn't do a smart thing with betting against Mel on this thing. I would have kept my little money. Saved it for some.
He went me first to see if I wanted to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was kind of like, if you didn't solicit it, I already know he solicited. Yeah. I know he already solicited. He could have easily just saved that for that Travis Scott bill, honey. You didn't have to do that. Why hurt yourself? Now you won't eat.
But did we win? Oh Lord, here we go. The Cowboy fans that swear that their win was like, yeah, you won. Okay, good. You almost lost that.
Well, welcome back to the winner's circle. Yeah. What happened to you week 1? I was expecting to win on week 1. You messed me up week 1. Jesus.
All right, so we're the Bucks at Denver. I'm going with the Bucks.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks on that one. I don't like the Donkeys like that, and the Donkeys, the Donkeys don't have Von Miller either.
Yeah, so even having to get a new quarterback too, right? Their quarterback,
right? They're dysfunctional right now.
I always get Drew Luck and what is the other one? They get the same name, damn near.
What are you talking about, Jerry Jeudy?
Yeah, no, one's Luck and one's I don't know.
Oh,
all right, Lions at Arizona.
I'll go with those Cards.
The NFC West is strong.
It is.
And we didn't mention it earlier, but there are new rules for the playoffs this year. 14 teams get in, not just 12. And it's not just the top of each division. We're talking the top of each division plus the next two.
And then a wild card? Or are those two the wild card?
So, and here's the deal. The only thing is that the first place of each division gets the first round off, but wild cards would be for everybody else. Like 2.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
That's gonna be pretty intense.
That is going to be intense.
I'm going to Cardinals 2-8. Kyler Murray has been racking up points.
Yeah, he has. And I don't know why on that Money Ministries I didn't go with the Cardinals. I would have had a perfect score. And
the Lions has not been that great yet.
No, the Lions haven't been really stepping up with that either. Yeah, I'm going with Cardinals. Yeah. And like I said, Kyler Murray has
Thank you, Heather. Luck and Lock.
Lock. Okay.
Andrew Luck and then Drew Lock. Like it was
Drew Lock, yes.
Thanks, Heather, for reading my mind. I appreciate it. We got the Packers at the Saints. 2 old heads going at it.
I'm going to go to the Saints.
They've got to. They're at home.
Devontae Adams is not doing what I'm expecting him to do. And
is Michael Thomas coming back, or was it just
I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's coming back this week either. But that's okay. Because, again, they're in the Superdome. This is their time to shine. This is where they do great. So I'm going to go with those Saints. That's my second team.
Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Baltimore Ravens.
That's going to be a great Monday Night Football game, first of all.
This is intense.
That's going to be an excellent Monday Night Football game. And sadly, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to choose Baltimore.
Are you?
I'm going to roll with those Ravens. I'm just going to see what it does.
Man, I feel like it's revenge. Like it's almost like you've got, I don't know.
You have to. It's a revenge game. I know they're going to level up and play up.
I'm excited to see Lamar on prime time because for some reason I haven't seen a lot of the Baltimore games yet this season because I haven't ordered my ticket yet.
But in typical fashion, you cannot count these Chiefs out, especially when it comes down to the wire. Because guess what? Just like in week 2, they came back right at the end at a clutch moment. Because I thought they was really going to lose. But
and they mentioned
with Baltimore.
2 quarterbacks that you can't count out would be Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. You can't, no matter what the lead is, you can't.
No, you can't. You cannot. You cannot. But I think Lamar is going to have a breakout. I think this will be a breakout week for him. I want to see what he can do on a Monday night under this. It's a revenge game. Let's go.
Only because we haven't had too many opposites. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to say Kansas City only because I feel like there's a few. I feel like Travis Kelce didn't have much of a game. I don't feel like Kareem Hunt had much of a game the last couple. So I want to see them get into it. I think it's going to be a good game.
It is going to be.
I'm going to make some bets this week. So if anybody's got some tips, put them in the Girl Chat Sports group.
And I'm just going to put that energy out there for RBG because she passed away sadly last weekend. So they're in that area with Virginia and DC and Maryland. So maybe we'll just see if those vibes help with their win possibly. I mean, but the Chiefs, you can't go against, the Chiefs they got Eric Bieniemy over there. You got Andy Dalton. They got a good.
Here's my other question, though:
offensive and defensive.
Why hasn't Earl Thomas been picked up yet?
Yeah, or Eric Reed. What's up with Eric Reed? Why is he not getting picked up?
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Jerry, everybody thought that Jerry was going to go get him, after he left, and there's nothing.
Nothing. Not yet. Wait till we get mid into the last week of when they can take players, the midweek of the season.
Nate, I did see that. However, you can't count.
You can't count Kansas City out. That's the thing. Yeah, they're almost. They always are almost losing team, and then they don't lose. That's the problem. They almost is the key word. Is an almost, but they never do. They clutch at the end. Some kind of crazy thing happens. And they just end up winning. And I don't like them to win because they're in my division of AFC West. You know, I want the Raiders to be on top. I don't want Chiefs and then us and then everyone else. I want us to be on top.
Hill, Tyreek Hill. Yeah. Like Hunt Hill, you know, I get them confused.
Oh, okay.
Who's IG? I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway.
Oh, maybe it's Kareem Hunt's IG? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, I know he's on the, you know, it's like my slip up last time. I can't remember what it was before I got the, you know, I get my names confused and then we're not scripted here, people. We just roll off the top of our tongues.
Yeah, this is what we would do if we were talking at a bar or something, you know? I mean, it's just chatting. We're just chatting, giving our opinion.
Oh, he's talking about Earl's. I don't follow Earl, and I think I do follow him, but I haven't seen him post about him in the Seahawks.
Oh, he has all the stuff on his shelf in the background.
I mean, hey, we do have some openings because of injuries, it seems like, but I don't know if Pete wants that. I don't know if Pete's ready for that. I'm sure Pete's down to throw all that under the mat.
Well, hopefully his personality will work out and he won't have any issues.
I mean, you know, I don't know.
Anyway,
so we've got our picks in. Do you want to mention your Lakers before we get out of here?
Oh, sure. I'm not going to go on a 2-minute rant like I did last time. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to get crazy. I see ourselves now having finally a series. I never said that the Lakers were going to sweep. I said the Lakers will take this series in 6. I'm still saying Lakers in 6, which means if I'm saying Lakers in 6, that means we would have to lose some games. And we lost. And we lost to a stellar Denver team. I've got to give them respect. They are playing up and
they were hitting those threes like nobody's business.
They were shooting our lights out.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't get a shot if we wanted to. Playoff Rondo in the 4th was phenomenal. Great defensively. We were on a 14-2 run, and it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And one of the things about Denver is they've been here before when Steph wants me to go on a rant. I'm not going to go on a rant. Denver's been here before. You have to keep in mind that Denver is not a team that is shook about being down in a series.
No, at all.
This is the same team that came back from a 3-1. So them feeling any kind of defeatist or tires flattened when
they've come down 3-1 twice.
Yeah. When AD had that clutch shot, I felt like, okay, you did that over the Joker. I know they cried on their pillows tonight and called their mom and said, we're ready to go home. But they didn't.
Kobe.
They didn't. They did not. They rose above it and they outplayed and outdominated us. Mind you, yes, LeBron James had a triple-double, but I felt like AD's game was not as good as last game. And Kuz, what the F, man? I have to say WTF on Kuz.
You know, Rondo's really been performing too.
I think he has. I mean, playoff Rondo's been amazing. He's been great defensively and everything. And I think the biggest mistake too was putting JaVale McGee in the starting 5 because he couldn't handle Joker. That unit there that they had in the first quarter was just not. It just looked all messy. He just looked lost. He looked confused. He looked like he was J.R. Smith. And again, they could bring JR if we're up in points. I mean, to kind of give the boys some rest.
Out of you saying about his boy JR.
First of all, he's the only one that was signed off on that Swish thing. We didn't sign off on that. Okay, he's there and whatever.
My God,
we don't even play him like we should. And the fact that Dion Waiters is out, that kind of hurts us too.
Yeah.
And Alex Caruso, as great of a defender he was in game 1 and game 2, game 3, he wasn't on either. Just a lot of them were just very off. You could tell that they were spent. You could tell that the fatigue had set in.
Quarter came and they were all
just pretty spent. So we've got a lot of bigs, and I don't know why you can't double up on the Joker. I don't know why you can't wear him down. Because what I was noticing was and mind you, this was a home court advantage for Denver. So guess what? We were going to get the brunt of the foul calls. I feel like they were doing my boy Dwight Howard a little dirty on these foul calls. They wanted him to foul out. That's what they wanted to do. But that's his position. But I feel like you need a double team Jokic. You really got to get that Joker double team with both of our bigs. So if you put a JaVale and a Dwight Howard on him and then do a pick and roll play, maybe that might help. I don't know. But we got to do something.
AD needs to be more consistent. Yeah, I mean,
he does need to be more consistent. I had a conversation
because I'm not going to win with just one. Yeah,
no. I had a lovely conversation with my mom, and she's like, I just don't see it with AD. I don't see the star level with AD. I don't see the playing to be the next one. just yet. And I'm like, well, give it some time. And she would say, well, how much time do we need? He was down there in New Orleans this whole time, and we still didn't see it. When is the magic going to turn on for AD? I feel like this team can't do anything without LeBron. They need him.
Right.
And
well, and AD, I feel
like
he's such a flat affect that I feel like you don't get that energy from him. And I feel like he needs he needs to give off that energy to get the team really going. Just like LeBron's got the energy. He's got the, AD is just kind of like.
He's got to have that bulldog mentality. He's got to get the inner monster out. He's got to beat him by the brow, literally. Like he's got to turn it on.
Use your brow.
We need to see that. Use your brow.
Power.
Brow power. Yeah. And speaking of power, I will talk about
girl power.
This girl power, couple power moment. Okay. I'll just intersect it. Okay. Yes. Time magazine just released their covers of the 100 most influential people. So not only was Megan Thee Stallion featured, the founders of Black Lives Matter, Dr. Fauci was mentioned.
I love that.
We also had Dwayne and Gabby.
I love it.
Dwayne and Gabby. I love it for the year 2020 of the most influential people. She has been outspoken on her advocacy work as far as the rights of women in the entertainment industry, as well as being supportive to her husband and their daughter, Zaya, for trans lives.
Very much
and so raising awareness on that and showing the utmost support that any parent you could ever see show for their child. With a big, serious choice.
That's the whole
point. And that's a serious commitment and choice. You know what I mean? On that child. So for them to educate the world, show some solidarity, and just keep fighting.
Yeah.
Just demonstrates all of that. So that's my girl power, couple power. Yeah. Proud of them. Very proud of them.
Good. Yeah. Stephanie enjoyed our beat 'em by the brow.
Yeah. You got to beat them by the brow. That's what AD does. And that's why I posted on my Facebook today, like, hey, did the Lakers win? Just checking for those that thought we would sweep. Don't be delusional, you guys. Denver, don't disrespect Denver like that. I'm not going to disrespect them like that. I'm going to respect them. They're a formidable opponent. They took out the Clippers fair and square, coming back from a 3-1 deficit.
And the
Jazz. That says
a
whole lot. And the Jazz. That says a whole lot. I'm sorry. I don't think
they're going to play. The thing is if they can keep hitting those threes, obviously game 1, they couldn't do nothing. Game 2, they came and played good. They just lost last second. Now game 3, they were, and at first you thought maybe the fourth quarter that the Lakers kind of came back more within like 5, and I was like, oh wow,
it is. It's interesting. Yeah. So I feel like this next game, as we head into game 4, I predict an overtime game. I predict it's going to be an overtime. It's going to be a dogfight. It is truly a dogfight series.
I am appreciating sports more now as far as how they're going head to head and how there really are some great games right now.
They really are. This is a great series on both ends. I don't know what the score is now from the Heat in Boston who won that, but
they're still going, I think.
Oh, they're still going. Is it fourth quarter? Should be fourth
quarter. I don't know. Maybe it's on the TV right now. I'm trying to check it out. It could just be some recap. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, you guys, thank you for tuning in. Please. Yes. Oh, shout out to Stephanie, because Stephanie shared a post from when she first started on Girl Chat 4 years ago.
She needs to come back on with us.
I told her, so whenever you're ready, when you're ready for your video debut, Steph, let us know. Maybe next Wednesday, because it'll be after the big Dallas and Seattle game. Maybe you want to take the opportunity. I don't know. But
we would love to hear from a Dallas fan to explain their thoughts.
Yeah.
And why not then a former she's still a Girl Chat sports girl. Yeah, just come on. Like typing in.
Oh, Miami won 112-109.
I'm telling you, those Heatles are this. I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna sign off. You have a coach like Eric Spoelstra with the experience of knowing what a championship series looks like. You have a GM like Pat Riley, who has been his, if you will, his muse. Well, he's been a muse to Pat Riley. You can't go wrong with that. That is the 1-2 punch that I've ever, you know what I mean? I expect a Heat Lakers series. I've expected it. I would love to see Boston out of nostalgia, but I do predict a Heat and Lakers series. These Heat ain't playing. Jimmy Butler didn't want to bring his family to the playoffs for a very good reason. No distractions. He is locked in and focused.
Yeah.
Man, listen. Then you got Iggy coming off the bench with experience of being in a championship series. Like, experience wins over everything, I feel like. It really does.
It'll be good.
And that's what. Go ahead.
No, we're just getting close to an hour and a half. I mean, we could do this all night.
Yeah, we could. But we're going to sign off, though.
But make sure you subscribe, you guys. Twitter Live, YouTube Live, Facebook Live. Join the Girl Chat Sports Facebook group. Just do a request. We'll accept you. We'll get you in. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time here in Las Vegas, live from Vegas on West Coast Wednesdays. You know what I mean?
West Coast Wednesdays on the West Side. Yeah, Bam is that guy. Bam, for real.
Yeah. So we appreciate everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We're going to see how our picks go for this weekend, and we will be back here
to discuss it all.
Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll catch y'all then.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.